Hello and hello. Welcome back to another DCU Daily. And today we have, a good amount of news. Got a lot of Lantern stuff because, our boy James Gunn just loves to, squash rumors and, talk about certain things. People have a lot of questions. So, he likes to bring those up from time to time, as well as a, reminder about a certain documentary that's coming out tomorrow. So get pumped for that. And then we also have Batman news, but all different types of Batman news. We have the Batman Epic Crime Saga news. And then we also have DCU Batman news, allegedly, rumor mill, all that stuff. I'm here today by myself, all by myself. Nobody loves me, so they're not here right now. It's okay. I'm used to it. But I have you guys to interact with. Hopefully, we can get the gears shifting and we can, start talking about, you know, the greatness of DC. But as I was saying, the first thing that I have for you today is, in fact, Superman. Now, it is, it was at one point back in September, James Gunn was like kind of, you know, really showcasing this movie about Christopher Reeve and talking about his activism, not just his role as Superman, but his activism, what happened after his accident and whatnot. So they really dive into that, and James Gunn was kind of pumping it up. He was really really getting into it and really like it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is like, go see this movie. It's very important. And I did see it. I thought it was a tremendous film. Very well done. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. And here's the thing: it was initially just going to be a Fathom event. It was just going to 21st and the 25th of September, and they're like, you know what? People are loving this movie. They need to showcase this story more. So now they're going to be like, all right, nationwide. So just this is kind of, here as a reminder. We've talked about it in the past, and I wanted to, um, talk about this because it is truly a great film, guys. Like, if you can, I know going to the theater, it's a bit rough, it's a bit, time consuming, and costs a lot of money. But like, this is one of those things where it's like, a lot of people aren't liking Joker Full AD, which is fine, even though I liked it. Not a lot of people are liking it, but maybe if you want to support the new regime of, James Gunn and DC Studios, this is maybe the way to do it. So, go out and support it. Just and as well as the fact, it's, about a great man, what he did for a lot of people. And even though he was confined to a wheelchair, he still did a lot for people. So he kind of became a Superman despite not being Superman no longer. So, it's an important thing to, really talk about. And I think yeah, I would recommend it. I the reason it's just like, guys, I feel like you really got to see this movie. It's an important movie. I think it's a very important movie. We love a lot of people love, Christopher Reeve. He defined, a generation. Like, that's what he was as Superman, even though some of the later films are a little lesser and all that. It's still, an important film to really recognize, to really see what he did, not just as the role, but what came after, as well as, being typecast. That was, um yeah, and yeah, so a lot of people are saying hi in the chat, by the way. KC, Yoj DC, Manola Rivera, the Watcher. Love to see it, guys. Love to see you guys here, back here. All right, dude. Thank you for, you know, coming in. But yeah, I think I think you guys are I think a lot of people are really gonna like it, and I think somebody said, Manola Rivera was definitely saying, also introduces Reeve to a new generation of fans. I would definitely say so because, you know, I wouldn't say Christopher Reeve was ever forgotten, but it's like it's one of those things. There is kind of the stigma of people like, oh, he's so old. He's from the 70s and 80s. That was such a long time ago. That was almost, you know, technically 78 was over, was over 40 years ago. So, there is a stigma there a little bit. So you are right, Manolo. I will say it's going to introduce a new generation of people to Christopher Reeve. Maybe they'll get pumped for the upcoming Superman film in 2025. So there is that as well, guys. But to move things along, we don't want to talk about something too much because I do have a lot for you guys today. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is, in fact, Batman. Now, the Penguin has been on, and they've been fucking crushing it. They've been crushing it. So, um, it's with all this, with all this fanfare, let's say, um, with all this, fanfare with the Penguin, they're like, oh, maybe we'll give the Batman spin-offs another shot. Maybe it's not totally dead. So I don't know. I don't think this is retroactive that much, but I do believe that there was a cause there, at least. There is a cause there. Although somebody wanted to, Ray J did ask us, how long is the theatrical run? I would assume it's like a normal theatrical one. I would assume it's probably a couple weeks if I were to guess. It depends. I guess it kind of depends how, good it does. If it makes a lot of money, then I guess, it'll stay in theaters for maybe a month or so. So I know money is tight, Ray J, but you can always grab a bottle of Captain Morgan and ride the high seas as well. I'm not totally permitting anything. I'm just saying there's certain things to do if you don't have the money. But I believe it'll be on Max soon enough. I don't know when, but probably soon. But we're talking about the Batman right now, and he's saying, and Matt Reeves was saying that it's not like this just didn't work. It was like we needed to evolve this. I would describe it less as something that didn't work out, more as something is still along the path driving forward. So I think he's saying that now. Maybe you guys, I'm curious to know what you guys would um be would have to say about an Arkham series. I know a lot of people were excited for it, but do you guys think that this was always like kind of in the background of like, okay, we'll get to it eventually? Or do you think that just now, that because the Penguin is getting really good reviews despite only 3 episodes in, that they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, let's do more spinoffs, guys. Let's do more spinoffs. Let's bring back that Arkham one. Let's bring back that Gotham Central one. Let's bring back all this stuff. So I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on that, because I feel like um I feel like that there is, I don't know, I think it's just an interesting, now I'm not saying this is an official John's theory time, but I am saying I feel like it's a little bit interesting that they were kind of kiboshing all the spin-offs, and then it just so happens when the Penguin starts to really record breaking for HBO, record breaking numbers for Max, record like it critical acclaim, audience acclaim. Now they're introducing, well, maybe the spin-offs aren't dead yet. So I just feel like that's an interesting coincidence. Not like saying that's a bad thing. I'm definitely open to, you know, more more, of this. If this is the quality. I know I didn't love the Batman, but I think I think I think this is turning me around a little bit, because The Penguin is a genuinely great show. So, yeah, I think, he's talking about like early days of Batman, talking about Jeff Loeb, talking about, Penguin, Batman or 2, Dylan Clark a little bit. So you can, go see this article for what it all is. And so, yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing. I'm just curious to know, your guys' thoughts on this. I think Lauren LaFranc is doing an excellent job. I think, the show is great. And would you guys want to see an Arkham show? And what would you guys want to see in the Arkham show? So, I'd be really curious because I feel like I mean the Batman is rich. Like, and I'm not just talking about the Batman. I'm talking about like Batman, as a character. I think there's a lot there. Obviously, like I mean, there's so much. Um, there's just so much in regards to you know how this character operates, the villains, how he works as a character and why people love him. And I think the villains, other characters like the Bat family, and all of this really brings like a new age for Batman, because Batman has kind of been, I don't want to say in the shitter or anything like that, but I think there would be there a bit of a resurgence, kind of like what Superman is going through right now, because Superman was kind of not in a great spot for a while. There was, I think, yeah, and like like the '90s, the Superman Returns, Man of Steel. Superman was not in a great place, but now it seems like he's getting traction again. So a lot of you guys are saying, if everybody will start with the Arkham Asylum, the Clayface, that would be a funny little shtick. Not gonna lie, kind of like how I've joked that you know Peacemaker and the Peacemaker, when they do that continuation, I think that would be kind of funny. Although that's DCU, not DC, because Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Gotham PD got new life either. I think I think that like, since the Penguin is doing so fucking good, I think I don't think they're gonna go too overboard with it. I think they're gonna, keep like, maybe hold back, because I feel like Matt Reeves, like, for the most part, knows what he's doing. I know we make fun of him a lot for his script writing timeline. So uh, we'll obviously see. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gotham PD came back too. But the only reason I wouldn't see that is because it might be considered too similar to Gotham, as in the Ben McKenzie show. So there's that as well. Lenny, hey Lenny, one of our favorite stokers of DCU Daily, but I would love to see Lauren LaFranc to be the showrunner for Paradise Lost. Honestly, I think that could work, especially because this show is like kind of like an ensemble, and I feel like that's what Paradise Lost is going to be. And she does deal with those darker themes, and but hey, it might be so like out of left field that it's like, let me try something new, and it feels like James Gunn is like pushing for, like, I respect Matt Reeves, what he's doing, and he might use some names from the Becks and use it for, the DCU. And, Watcher saying, the Arkham should still be in the DCU. It would be interesting in fantasy. Yeah, I could see that, because I feel like the Arkham characters, like the villains, obviously, it would be much more fun dealing with, you know there's it would be more fun if the characters were more fantastical. I agree. I think there is a I like, as much as I enjoy the Penguin, it's just like realistic Batman. I still think it keeps that comic book kind of nature to it, but I feel like Matt Reeves' obsession with realism might be its downfall. We did talk about that in the past. And I also agree, Ray J. Sophia Falcone, Kristen Milioti, she's excellent. I didn't the only thing I saw her in for the longest time was How I Met Your Mother. So I didn't, like, not saying she's a bad actress or anything like that. It's just like, when I saw her, it's like I didn't have a lot of reference for her other acting gigs. So when I saw her in this, I was like, holy fucking shit, damn, she is truly magnificent. And I would love to see Sophia Falcone. I know, Lenny, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, where somebody mentioned like a team up between Catwoman and Sophia Falcone, since they're half sisters. So I think that could be. It wouldn't happen, but um I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, she was in The Sopranos, by the way. I assume you're talking about Chris Milioti, so that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I think there is a lot of, a lot of greatness that could come here with this. I feel like, a miniseries about Mr. Freeze would be perfect for the Reeves. I don't know about that, but if there is any other ideas, like I would love to see the Arkham one. I would love to see Gotham. I would love to see Gotham PD, I should say. Catwoman would be great. I know Clayface is kind of in limbo right now. I don't know if that's still happening, but it might happen. Mike Flanagan, maybe he wants it to be his own thing. Maybe he wants it to be part of a universe. However, considering how poorly Joker Folie Do is doing, I don't think they want to do another solo villain movie for quite a while, especially when also the Sony movies, yes, I know it's Marvel, that they don't want to do that either because the Sony movies are mostly bad. Even the Venom movies are like, I don't know about this. So I'm really curious with how they go with this. Um it could be like maybe Joker is like a good, like a good supporting character. They'll maybe go more in depth with uh yes, the Watcher. Oh my gosh, John, Catwoman and Sophia team up, bro. I think Lenny, I agree with you. I do think they gotta have Catwoman and Sophia Falcone meet up. It just makes I feel like that makes sense. Um, you know, uh, but I think I think it'd be really fun. Yeah, so yeah, Lenny, I think I agree with that too. I agree with what you're saying. But yeah, Caleb Richardson. Uh I think it would be really funny if all the spinoff shows in the Bex universe are just shows that don't feature Batman. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's just the only problem I have is like you can't do Bat Family stuff. That's what I want to see. I want to see Bat Family. That's the one of the few things I'm excited for with Brave and the Bold is we're gonna see the Bat Family. I want to see the goddamn Bat Family. The only ones we've gotten were Chris O'Donnell as Robin, Cassandra Cain completely and utterly destroyed in the fucking Birds of Prey movie, aka Harley Quinn plus these other chicks. And then like the Titans show, they completely ruined all those characters there. They ruined Batwoman on the fucking CW. It's the Bat Family needs some good recognition, like Gotham Knights that barely counts, but like they need to, give the Bat Family some its due. I think they deserve its due at this point. Um, However you do that, like whether it's a show, whether it's a Batman movie that just features them, whether it's a movie with all of them, I don't know how that would work, but I just want to see all of them. I want to see Nightwing. I want to see Red Hood. I want to see Red Robin or Robin, depending. Yeah, it would be Red Robin because Damian Wayne is Robin. I would love to see, fucking Bluebird. Hell, bring her in. I would love to see my girl Cassandra Cain done right this time. I would love to see who else? Batwoman done right. I'd love to see her done right. Um, there's tons of characters that you can really do. I know I'm kind of leaning into more DCU stuff, but in terms of the Bex universe, um, whatever they do, in fact, decide to do, um, you know, I think it would be really cool. I think whatever they do decide to do, whether they actually go forth with the Arkham series, whether they go forth with the Gotham PD series, whether they do a Catwoman series, I'm open to it because like the Penguin is so good so far, and that could be interesting. I couldn't get into Succession. I tried to watch the first episode. It just didn't land. It's just like, why do I care about a bunch of rich assholes being rich assholes? So it's like, all right. But I liked the Fall of the House of Usher, and that was described as Succession, but that was rich people getting karma. So I think that's why it worked for me. But yeah, that could be a lot of fun though. That could be a lot of fun. Um, you know, there's a lot of different things, and you guys are saying a lot of different things in the chat right now. Thank you for all your comments. This really means a lot, guys. Since I'm here by myself, you guys are carrying the show in reality. So, you know, I would, the Watcher saying Catwoman series is number one from a want from the breed. Yeah, I would like to see Zoe Kravitz done a little bit better. Um, I just, I didn't totally love her Catwoman. She was like, um, she wasn't bad, but she was like, I mean, she's no Michelle Pfeiffer, but nobody can be, or Eartha Kitt. All sounds great, but it will ultimately yeah, I'm not saying I was just going off on a tangent. I'm not saying do the Bat family for the Bex universe. I'm not saying that. I was just going off on a tangent in terms of like what I want to see in general, not for the Bex universe or anything. I'm just talking about in general. I don't think they could do Bat family stuff. Maybe they can get a Robin in there, like at some point, maybe by a third movie. Because I think you could make maybe like adapt Robin year one or something like that. But I'd love to see, I love to see these characters just done right. Whether I don't care what universe it is, as long as you can make it work narratively and it's good, then I don't care. Like when I was like the Penguin show, as you remember, the first teaser, I was like, not great. But I was like, let's see. And I let it cook, and it turned out to be really damn good. Like it turned out to be great stuff. And then the show premiered, and I was like, damn, the show is good. It's not like the most greatest show I've ever seen in my life, but it's a damn good show. It's a damn good show. I hope you guys are watching it because we are going to be doing another review hopefully next Monday. And then on next Tuesday, we're going to be reviewing Superman and Lois. Hopefully we can, get to those. Um, but yeah, I think, Batman would be great stuff. Now, I would love to talk more Batman, but the thing is, we have a lot of stuff with lanterns. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of lantern stuff. Now, if you remember from yesterday, Aaron Pierre was officially, or no, not yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I keep forgetting what day it is. I keep thinking today's Friday. It's Thursday. Yesterday, Aaron Pierre was officially cast as John Stewart, and it's getting people really stoked. And James Gunn has been saying a lot of stuff in regards to Aaron Pierre as an actor, what's going to happen with him. Well, we have a bunch of things here. We have a bunch of things that James Gunn has been saying because James Gunn loves to talk with the fans. He loves to squash rumors or perpetuate other rumors. You know how he is. So with all that, we have him here talking to a fan after Aaron Pierre got you know officially cast, and as well as Kyle Chandler. We did get the okay from James Gunn yesterday after we wrapped filming yesterday that Kyle Chandler is officially cast as Cal Jordan Green Lantern, with James Gunn fully saying it on Threads. So here he is here. I'll zoom in for you guys a little bit. But he was talking about how, you know, this has been mentioned a bunch. This has been mentioned a couple times, um, about how, you know, it's going to be a broad spectrum of everything. Because somebody was asked, just make sure you don't cast Green Lantern perfectly because this is a perfect casting, and then not be able to use the same actors in featured films if they become more a possibility. Hopefully, if there's fluidity between studios. But James Gunn reminded him or her that, hey, no, everything, like pretty much Joker Folie à Deux was the last gasp of a previous studio reign, because they gave the okay for Joker 2 way back in November of 2019. 1 month later, they confirmed a sequel. And so that was like the last of that era. That's even though we talked about how Aquaman was the last of the DCEU, Joker Folie à Deux was the last pre DC Studios anything. So that was the last of that. So everything from here on out is DC Studios, including the new Superman documentary. So if you guys came in late, we were talking about that and how that's going to be nationwide tomorrow. So if you have the money, I know Ray J doesn't, and that's fair because I was a broke college student in 1.2. Um, so if you guys can see it, go watch it tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's worldwide. But yeah, so go watch that. But anyway, so Green Lantern. So we already know this, but this is just kind of a reminder for people how voice actors and actors in TV and actors in movies, and even I think James Gunn even mentioned games at one point. Maybe I don't think that's actually happening, but people will be crossing everything. All the DC projects henceforth, movies or TV, under one studio, DC Studios. If it's a DCU project, it will be the same actor in both mediums, and that, of course, is true of Aaron as well. So, yes, guys, we are going to be getting Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart in all media from DC Studios, no matter what. The only thing I can maybe see is the animated stuff because that's its own separate thing, like Dynamic Duo just being announced. But it's going to be the same actor, guys. It's going to be the same actor. And, I think, this is all, sorry, I apologize. But yeah, this is all stuff we've known before. Obviously, this is all stuff we've known before. So Aaron Pierre and all these actors are going to appear across media. Like Alan Tudyk they said that he was going to appear in Superman in a mystery role, but he's probably going to just be Doctor Phosphorus, like he is in Creature Commandos. So there is that as well. But although there is some other things that might say he's Mixie or Brainiac, but you know how it is. But anyway, um, so Aaron Pierre gonna appear everywhere. So don't you worry, guys. Now the next thing we have in terms of lantern stuff, because we do have a lot. You probably see my tabs up here. We have a lot. So a lot of people were talking about how Aaron Pierre was like, oh my God, after Rebel Ridge, this guy is the guy. He is Jon Stewart. And that's fair. From what clips I've seen of him, um, it would be, what clips I've seen of him, he would be a great addition. Oh my God, he would be a great Jon Stewart. But everyone's like, oh, somebody asked him straight up, like, hey, did that convince you? And he's like, no, his screen test convinced me. So it's like, nah, fuck this shit with all your Rebel Ridge crap. No, it's screen test. So it was just like all the stars and planets aligned kind of thing where it's just like, you know what? He's just a great actor and he just so happened to work. And it just so happened he made this movie as a Marine that matched up with Jon Stewart, and we're using him. So it's like that's what I had a feeling like because I know somebody was saying yesterday that they didn't like the trend casting because Aaron Pierre was a trend casting. Everyone saw Rebel Ridge and they're like, okay, they want him as Jon Stewart, but it's like no, I assume his screen test came months before that or weeks before, and they were just impressed by him being a great actor. So so don't get on your soapbox, guys, a little bit. Um, you know, I do think yeah, so it's just like a happy accident. Like it just so happened that the fans like it because I know he did mention for David Corn Sweat that there was like a bit of fan casting that he liked, and I think Corn Sweat was also aware of it. But I think it was just like this case, I think there was a little bit of like, oh, because fan casting, but I also think he's really good. And then I think this was just a happy accident of like, okay, he's just a really good actor, and we decided to, use him. Um, same here. I hope they keep talking casting. Supergirl and Paradise Lost for Lenny's sake, because I feel like those are the ones that Lenny is most excited for. But yeah, so it wasn't because of Rebel Ridge, guys. It was because he had just had a fucking great screen test. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Do you think it's a happy accident, or do you think James Gunn is not revealing everything and that he's actually just being like, oh, I don't want to admit that it was this really good movie that he just came out with? So do you think James Gunn's lying, or do you think like he's genuinely like, no, it was actually just his screen test. It was that good. So, you know, we'll obviously see for the future. So yes, The Watcher. Yes, Paradise Lost is one of my most anticipated as well. So that's great. Um, and yeah, so we move on a little bit. We move on. So but I do want to post this thing from Lenny. We love Lenny's skepticism and just bluntness here at DCU Daily. You're right. Joker is the last piece of shit from previous WB staff, and Gunn is now in charge. So we have a regime that is in service of a story and entertainment, not their bank accounts. It got cut off, but not their bank accounts. Thank you, Lenny. We love your additions to the comments. So we apologize that Fiona is not here, but it is how it is. But I hope you know, I hope I help. I don't know, but I hope you're still enjoying the show. But yes, Screen Test, not Rebel Ridge. So that's an interesting little bit. So the next thing, we have Eddie Gathegi weighing in on Lantern's casting. Obviously, he's not going to shit on the casting because he's part of this universe. He's not going to say, "Oh, this sucks," because he was cast. But yeah, so yeah, we have a lighter John Stewart right here because that has been unfortunately a big thing with people. But we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But yeah, Eddie Gathegi approved, guys. They say he is cooking. DC official. Eddie Gathegi is very happy about this. They're cooking with gas here. They're cooking with gas, and I definitely believe that. I think Kyle Chandler is good, and I think um, Aaron Pierre is good. Now I know, yeah, there is a stigma there of interracial, not sorry, internalized, racial stuff between dark skinned and light skinned black people, which is very unfortunate. That's why a lot of people are like, oh no, John Stewart's much darker than this. He's not light skinned. He's going to be terrible. And it's just like, all right, that's kind of a shame, but like, um, I can't. There's not really a lot of room I could talk about with that because I'm white, so I can't really add to that conversation. But I think he'll do a great job no matter what, and I think he'll do a great job, and I think Kyle Chandler will do a great job. And I'm just curious with that chemistry, how that chemistry will unfold on screen, because I think that will be really awesome to see. So yeah, and it's Eddie Gathegi approved, guys. But yeah, next thing, this was now we're going back to what my initial theory was back in regards to um lanterns was I had a timeline. My timeline was in terms starting with 2025, my timeline was we're going to get Superman in July. Then we're going to get season 2 of Peacemaker or whatever it's going to be called. And then in 2026, we're going to be getting Supergirl and then Lantern sometime after because Lanterns is filming at the same, and we're going to get to that soon, is going to be filming around the same time as Supergirl, which starts in January. So that's definitely really exciting. But that this, pretty much confirmed my time. Again, I was just going by a logistical common sense kind of thing because it's like, okay, this thing is you're filming around the same time as Supergirl. It still has a little bit more because it's an 8 episode TV series rather than just a 2 hour movie. So they have a bit more to do and say. So it's definitely going to probably up. If I were to guess, it's going to appear in the fall season because that's usually when the TV season starts. I know in this day and age TV is like kind of all over the place, so who knows. But if I were to guess, it's probably going to be late summer, early fall that Lanterns is going to come out. I think even though this is mainly rumor mill, I think that it just makes the most sense. It just makes the most sense. Um, yeah, so again, um, we have oh, okay. That's interesting. So Lenny had this to say, and Lenny, I always appreciate we always love your bluntness, and you're very honest, so we love that about you. We love what you have to say, and we learned something more about you. You're a woman, a lesbian, and you're black. So interesting, not that a bad thing, but just thank you. So you're black, so I'll say something. Americans are hung up on colorism. They need to get over it. You an American have this one drop rule. It's dumb. So I mean, I agree. As I said, I can't. I'm just. That's what you're saying. So I agree with that as someone who's an outsider who can't talk about that because I don't have that experience as a minority or a person of color. So thank you for your insight on that, and we really appreciate it. It would be great if Dan was here. I know Dan is Pakistani and not black, but he has more to say about this than I do, unfortunately. So, yeah. So, thank you, Lenny, for your insight. We really appreciate that. I don't want to let's like kind of divert from that a little bit. I don't want this to get too serious with like racial drama. So, as long as they're written okay, then that's great. Um, a lot of people were saying, about that. So yeah, I do think I think Aaron Pear is a great, Aaron Pear is a great choice. Might be a little bit lighter, but I don't think that matters. I mean, as long as they're written well and I personally, I always viewed race swapping as kind of pointless. It's just like I don't really get it, but like whatever. If they are the best actor for the role, then that's fine. Like Jeffrey Wright, when he was cast as Gordon, I'm like, that's an interesting choice. But I'm like, you know what? That man is a fucking terrific fucking actor. So you know what? Let's see. And you know what? He might be my favorite Commissioner Gordon, although he's not Commissioner. He was Lieutenant Gordon in the Batman. He might be the favorite, my most favorite Gordon. Like Ben McKenzie was great, Gary Oldman was great, Pat Hingle. Nobody cares about Pat Hingle, but he was supremely fucking excellent in the role. He was so good, and you know what? Just so happened to be black. I think there is some characters that you can't really race swap. I don't think it works for like really old like characters that have like been there. Like I don't like big characters like Superman and Batman. I just don't think that works. Especially in this day and age when I feel like they just do it to piss people off rather than like having some sort of like point, or they're just picking someone that's just that good. I just don't think that that personally works. So, yeah, again, let's move on a little bit. Let's move on. So Aaron Pierre is great. So it turns out Lanterns allegedly, now this is just rumor mill. But it just from a logistical standpoint, it seems like that's the case. It just seems like, you know, Lanterns is coming out in the second half of 2026. I apologize for any, if I triggered anyone with what we were talking about before. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to, get so serious, but I do apologize for that. And we're moving on. So this just seems like a good logistical point of view. And if it follows into what I was saying, and if I can say I was right about something, I do love saying I'm right. I'm a little bit of a know-it-all. So, it makes sense. So yeah, we have that. But next we have is a plot leak, allegedly a plot, well, not plot leak, but plot details. So here, I'll zoom in on this because the picture is kind of superfluous, but it's from APOC Horseman. And Hal's love interest. So here's alleged plot details. Hal's love interest is the town sheriff. I assume the town where they find the body of whoever is the town sheriff, Kerry Kane. All right. Um, that follows into the alliterative thing that a lot of comic book characters love to do. So Carrie Kane, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think Gil Kane was one of the creators of one of the Green Lanterns. I think Alan Scott, either Alan Scott or actually Hal Jordan. Hold on. Now I'm gonna look it up because Gil Kane. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I think I believe Gil Kane. Um, he yeah, okay, so yes, okay, so he co-created Hal Jordan. So that makes sense they would use Kane. It's like, all right, nice, cute, tongue in cheek. And then apparently John does get into an affair with an older woman named Zoe. She's a Native American woman and the only person of color in an all-white town. All right, that might be a little disconcerting, but we'll see. Zoe's married to a businessman named Dylan, and he's described as one of the antagonists of the series. And all these could be code names. So, they could bring in like Carol Ferris, they could bring in a character that's more attributed to the comics, and then this could be like Hector Hammond or something. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts on this because I'm not loving this. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Thank you, Watcher. Obviously, we get our big salt lick out. Um, this just seems um like not great. Now, obviously, could be total BS. Thank you, Watcher. You are always here to remind us. Take it with a grain of salt. It seems very fake. Yes. I'll give you some credit, Watcher, because I love to give credit because I don't want because I could be lying. I could be lying, guys. But yes. So the Watcher, it seems very fake. It does seem kind of fake. It just seems we just know it's America Heartland. I don't think it would be the worst thing ever. It just seems lame, I think. A little bit. It just like I don't because here's the thing with that. I think the main reason why I don't like this is because I just don't like the idea of just like, oh, it's just going to be two space cops that are just going to be in a town discovering a murder mystery. It's like we've seen that a trillion times before, and we'll see that a trillion times in the future. So it just feels like they're not doing anything. And it's just like, what's the point of having green lanterns if you're not gonna have it in space? I know there's only so much budget you can do, but it's like, guys, come on, this just sounds fucking lame. This just sounds really lame. If it's down like Silent Hill, maybe that could work, but I don't think so. Um, it's just, yeah, um, maybe something like that, but I don't think that they're gonna do something like horror related. Because I know Night Country, the True Detective spinoff went very supernatural from what I know. But yeah, I think, um yeah, I just don't like this at all. I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts. I know Watcher said this was very fake, and thank you for that. It just fake or not, I'm just curious to know what your guys' thoughts. Maybe I'm alone here. Maybe maybe you guys are with me. I don't know. It's just this just seems lame, and it's just like I understand like Carol Ferris is like on again, off again. Um, so I don't know. Like I understand like it's with Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris, it's not like a Lois Lane or Iris West or that kind of situation where it's like they are the one, like that's the one like thing you like there's nobody else. I know like these characters die and whatnot. It's just like they're the one. It's like Mary Jane at the end of the day, it's Mary Jane for Spider-Man, Lois Lane for Superman, and even Steve Trevor for Diana a little bit. And I know like fucking Batman has had like a trillion, so he doesn't really matter in regards to that. But it just feels like I don't know, like I'd like to we only got like a bickering kind of thing with Carol Ferris in the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, and that kind of worked, but like I want to see her as Star Sapphire. I don't know who mentioned it, but somebody mentioned something about Star Sapphires. They'd like to see a show about that or something, or no, there was a rumor that Star Sapphire was going to appear in the show, and like Carol Ferris was going to appear, so I'd like to see that. I don't think John Stewart has a love interest. um so I mean, Native American woman, that's cool. Maybe get the chick who's in Resident Alien if that's the case, because I like her. I forget her name, but she's really good. I just think, I don't know, I just feel like this is kind of lame, and like, if it brings me Dexter New Blood vibes, and the thing is it worked for Dexter, but, like, I don't know, like, I don't mind, like, a small town thing, but it's just like, with Green Lanterns, I want it to be big and cosmic. I want it even if it's small, like, I want it to feel epic. This doesn't feel epic to me. This just feels, um, you know I understand Chris Mundy was part of, Ozark, and, yes, Jon Stewart's, um yeah, so Jon Stewart's other love interest is Vixen. Yes, I did forget about that. I was talking about mainly about the comics, because I don't know if that's true in the comics, but yeah, Vixen and Hawkgirl are the big ones. So, um yeah, I understand Hugo. Like, I understand Chris Mundy did that, but it's like this is a different beast, and they do have Damon Lindelof and Tom King, and biases aside, they worked on bigger stuff than this. Like they worked on big epic stuff. Like Damon Lindelof had Lost, and Tom King like did a lot of cosmic stuff. He did do some Green Lantern stuff. He did Supergirl stuff. So it's like, you know, with those showrunners, writers, creatives with great bodies of work and comes up with this plot seems head scratching. Yes. Okay. So I'm glad I'm not totally alone. It just feels very weird and not like what they usually do. So I think that this is yeah, I just feel okay, so more comments are coming in. I'm glad I'm not the only one here. But yeah, Green Lanterns are fantastical, small town love triangle plot. Don't think so. I agree. This sounds like a Hallmark movie with Green Lanterns in it. Like that's what this sounds like. It sounds like a Hallmark movie. That's this. You know what? This is the Hallmark rumor of Green Lantern. If this ends up what they're doing, then that's gonna be not a good show. But maybe it'll bring attention to the fact that Tom King is a terrible writer. So maybe, but I even like I mean Tom King does a lot of horrible shit, but like even this is sounds beneath him because at least Mr. Miracle was okay, you know. So yeah, it just thank you, Manolo. I'm glad that somebody laughed at that. Um, I just think this isn't it. This isn't it. I know we're saying um let humor for a bit. If this was real, then maybe it's something that starts small and grows bigger and bigger, gets cosmic, because this will be a lot of people's first exposure to lanterns. I agree. Like, I would hope that it becomes bigger, but it just doesn't sound big to me. It doesn't sound like that. And I don't really like that. I don't, you know, I feel like the characters deserve a little bit more than like kind of just this stuff, you know? But Adam Strange, yeah. Um could be Adam Strange, yeah. Wait, what are you talking about with Adam Strange, Lenny? Uh in terms of what? Well, I know Tom King did do Adam Strange. Is that what you're talking about? Um I don't know what you're talking about. Uh but yeah, I think I'm trying to yeah, I mean that's fair. Yeah, okay, The Watcher. Yeah, you might have something there. So, okay. What if it's Cadmus? Okay, I could see Cadmus, but like I feel like Cadmus is more Superman related. I feel like that was because Cadmus was in Superman the animated series a lot. So I feel like that's what it is, you know? Um, but I mean, it could work. I mean, I know Cadmus is like a general bad guy for the entire DC universe, but from what I remember, it's mostly Superman related, super family related. But and maybe that's because Superboy was bred there. But you know, um, yeah, I know from Young Justice. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I know Young Justice, and I think they were in Superman the animated series a lot. And yeah, so you know, obviously, we'll see. I hope this isn't the case. It just sounds kind of lame. So, but we do have a couple more tidbits. The next one we have is apparently a casting rumor, allegedly. Kelly MacDonald, who was in No Country for Old Men and Boardwalk Empire, has the offer for one of the two female leads in Lanterns. Now, this is via My Time to Shine. I haven't heard of them before, so take this with another huge grain of salt. Kelly MacDonald, I have seen No Country for Old Men. I don't remember her in that movie. Um, but she is a fellow Scot. So, she is a Scottish actress. Um, so trying to think No Country for Old Men. Oh, I think she was the wife of I think she wasn't she the wife of Josh Brolin? Honestly, that would be hilarious. Because considering he was in No Country for Old Men, and then she's actually getting a role if that's the case. So yeah, Kelly MacDonald, she was also in Brave and all that stuff, and Boardwalk Empire. Um, Nanny McPhee, T2 Train Spotting, Anna Karenina. She was Princess Merida, all that stuff. So yeah, she's a very good actress. Now, whoever the um, yes, um. But yeah, oh, Grimes, I haven't I don't think you are a regular here, but thank you for popping in. We love to, welcome new people. I can understand where you're coming from with them having their adventure in space, but I think it's fine if the show involves some cosmic elements for the small town. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. It just feel like the plot details that were leaked allegedly again. the plot rumor, the plot detail rumors, let's say. I just don't like love triangle, how just a business guy is like an antagonist. Like, all right, that's kind of lame. But even despite all this, Kelly MacDonald, great actress. Whoever the female lead is, I could see her as a Carol Ferris. Now, I'm not going to be able to do fan casting. I know I promised you guys yesterday that I was going to do some fan casting, but with all this Lantern news, that unfortunately we can't get to that. But I'm going to hopefully, be doing that Monday because we have the Also Curious show tomorrow. So maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. I know we have a lot of reviews now to do, like Penguin and all that, but I hope to do that for you guys in the future. But Kelly MacDonald, I think I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. Um, okay, yes, Hugo Mill. I really appreciate this. This is who I want to see. Um, I, Give me some Larfleeze, man. That's what I want to see. I want to see some Larfleeze. Now, who you ever you get for that is, you know, whoever, whatever. I would love to see Larfleeze. That would be amazing. I don't think they're going to introduce that like so soon. Even though I think Atrocitus should be like the main, that should have been like the first villain. Just introduce another Lantern Corps and then maybe do the smaller stuff. But like introduce something big at first. But yeah, I think but yeah, so you're talking about a lot of Adam Strange stuff. Are you talking about the Adam Strange as the guy who's killed? That could be an interesting. I would hate for Adam Strange to immediately die, but yeah, so like it's space, but it's confined for the show in a small town. It's going to be bizarre. Yes, I agree. Very bizarre. I don't love that, but Lenny. I'm curious to know your thoughts about Kelly MacDonald. Um, you know, as someone from the British Isles and all that, but you know, uh, the murderer could be the Black Hand. I don't think they're going to introduce Blackest Night that quickly, though. Um, I just feel like that's not the best idea. Um, but yeah, so not a ton to say about Kelly MacDonald, whoever she would be, whether it's the alleged plot details that were leaked or the rumor or whatever the hell they are. Maybe one of those two as the Carrie Kane character, whoever that, or either a coded Carol Ferris or something else. I think she would do a good job. She's a very good actress. So yeah, not much to say about that, but I'm glad we got something in regards to that. And it's remember it if first of all, it might not even be true. And second of all, it's just an offer. So this might not be even anything. So we'll see. But yeah, next up we have from Daniel RPK, who has been rather hit and miss, but he can, hit from time to time. Lantern shooting could take place between February and July in Los Angeles. Now, this feeds into the theory I was talking about, how it's most likely they have their two leads. They probably have a bunch of other casting. They're probably getting scouting locations. They're probably doing all this other stuff. But yeah, I think February and July, which is essentially the same time as when Supergirl is filming, which is from January to June, I believe. And so Lantern's shooting is going to take place between February and July. And that's honestly great. Like, I feel like that, especially if it goes back to the other rumor that, oh, it's gonna be in the latter half of 2026. This makes sense. This makes sense. So February and July in Los Angeles. I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think this makes sense, or do you think I know Black Hand existed before Blackest Night, but now unfortunately with retroactively people associate Black Hand with Blackest Night. So I don't know. They might, oh, we have to include a tease to Blackest Night. I have a strong feeling that they would do that. I know that Black Hand isn't just Blackest Night. He was a villain way before then. But I could picture them doing that. Like, oh, we got to set up everything. So it's like, we got to set up Blackest Night for like 10 years down the line. So yeah, I think, that's how it is. So yeah, you don't want to call floats characters before getting. Yeah, that's fair. Um, But Lisa Drack and Dexter are two Lanterns I really want to see, and Saint Walker. Yeah, I'd love to see Saint Walker. I'd love to see Dexter. I'm obviously Sinestro. I'd love to see. Again Kellogg. I'd love to see a whole bunch of these guys. God, there's so many. There's so many that I can't think of any off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, I think this just makes sense logistically. I think this makes sense that in terms of the plan that James Gunn has right now with a movie and a TV show every year, we're getting Superman and Peacemaker next year, and then the year after that we would get Supergirl and Green Lanterns or just Lanterns. You know how it is. So that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. So, but that is, it for Green Lantern. A lot of Green Lantern stuff. So, can still have your theories and all that and everything. But now we get to our last thing, going back to more Batman, but this time it's the DCU Batman. It's about Batman Brave and the Bold. Apparently, there is a rumor going around that, in fact, they want a middle aged man, to play the DCU Batman. Now, this is from My Time to Shine. Hello. So they were, part of the rumor mill. And honestly, that makes sense because it feels like they're going for a more veteran Batman. Because I mean, he has Damian Wayne. Now, I don't know how old they're gonna make Damian Wayne. I would imagine he would be like 13, 14 years old because they probably don't want to pick someone who's like super young, who's doing all these crazy stunts. And Damian Wayne is a fucking sociopath in the like beginning of his Robin career, being like bred by the fucking League of Assassins and all that shit. So yeah, we're getting into Batman stuff now. I don't think Colin Farrell would be one since he's busy as the Penguin. So it doesn't seem like he would go from Bex to DCU. Now I've said Jake Gyllenhaal would be a great choice. Now I'm so sick seeing Alan Richson and fucking Glenn Powell and Jensen Ackles and all this other shit. Fuck that noise. But somebody mentioned Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like, now we're cooking with gas. Now we are cooking with gas. Jake Gyllenhaal would be great. He has the grittiness for Batman, but he also has the suaveness and charisma for Bruce Wayne. Now he's very good with dual identities, and I think Nightcrawler was the movie that was like he can swindle people, he can manipulate people, he can interrogate people, and that was like one of his more dark role is one of his darker roles. So I think he would be perfect there. I think he would be such a great Batman. Now I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this because you know how it is. There's a lot of different ways that people view Batman, how they have um this, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. In this day and age, middle age means like could mean like 50, but I would like to see a 40s Batman, and I think Jake Gyllenhaal is perfect for that. I would also love to see Josh Hartnett. Trap was a great movie. I know not a lot of people liked that one, but that was a genuinely great movie, and um, I think he would again. He's good at like keeping like that identity. Um, you know that identity like that. So yes, Lenny. Although there's some disparaging words. To Jake, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's a bore. I don't. I don't. I don't think he's a bore personally. If you haven't seen Nightcrawler, I recommend it because I think that shows like his acting ability. Yeah. So I could be wrong, but I'm sure he confirmed it. Someone asked him how it was coming. Yeah, so we don't know where the Batman is, or not the Batman, sorry, Batman Brave and the Bold. We don't know where it is right now. It could be, they still have Andy Muschietti, who's still working on Welcome to Derry. I know a teaser for that a while back came through. I don't think they have a script writer. At least they didn't tell us that there's a script writer. So obviously we'll see. Um, but it's kind of, up in the air. But I feel like again, middle-aged man, obviously this is all of this is pretty much rumor mill. The only thing that's confirmed is Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler are Lanterns, and Superman is coming out, Super slash Man, Christopher Reeve story is coming out tomorrow. and that maybe the Arkham thing is still on the line. Everything else is rumor mill. So I would like to. I think Josh Hartnett or Jake Gyllenhaal could be really good. Um, Colin Farrell doesn't make sense, so I don't know why they would include him here. I know this is just like a random guy. You just like put a random picture of a middle-aged actor, but yeah, I think the either two of them would be really good. I just don't want to see fucking Jensen Ackles or Alan Richson. But I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Oh, hey, Dan is in the chat. Hey, Dan. So you finally got home. Well, I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up the rest of um the stories today. So, thank you for popping in, sir. We'll be closer. I think Batman Watcher saying he doesn't or he, she, or they, we don't want to assume here. Uh I think Batman will be close. I don't it's just like here's the thing. If they're bringing in Damian Wayne, he would have to be at least like he would have to be at least like 28. Okay, so like if not even 20, if he would have to be at least 31. And if he was like 18 when he fucking got raped by Talia al Ghul, um I mean, I hope they don't do that, but a man can dream. But um I think I think at like late 30s, early 40s would make sense. It just like, had some time to like have a bunch of different Robins like Tim Drake and Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, a bunch of these Robins because he's the fourth canonical Robin. Or I think they might have retroactively reintroduced Stephanie Brown as a Robin. I don't know. But um but yeah, I just don't think that I don't think he'll be close to that at all because it doesn't make sense. Like he would be Batman for what, like 10 years, maybe like, oh, how long was he Batman then? Like 5, 6 years. I don't know. Just I understand you can have like your own um Nelson, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. I know you're trolling, but like well, um the Watcher, Stephanie Brown was removed from canon as a Robin with some things, and I think with New 52, and then I think they brought her back. I don't remember. It's, DC DC is how it is with DC. Their canon is a complete fucking shit show. So I don't know if I don't know what it is anyway. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. But last time I remember is Stephanie Brown was not a canonical Robin. So um I hear screams from the basement. I mean, what? Anyway, um Nelson, I know you're trolling, but I still got to put you on blast right now, Nelson. Uh the hierarchy of the DCU is about to change, except not at all. Get that the fuck out of here. We're deleting that. I'm deleting your comment. I'm deleting you from existence. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just having fun. But um God, Lenny, you're a lot of fun. Yeah, I feel like we're besties right now. Uh Um, but yeah, I think the release date for Batman Brave and the Bold will be 2028 and the Swamp Thing movie. That could be a good um personally um I don't think that I don't think it's 20 I think that it would be 2027 if I were to guess. Because Batman would come part 2 would come out in 2026 and then maybe to keep that train going they would have 2027. I think Swamp Thing would come out after that. I don't know, but because I feel like they want to get like Batman. Oh, got to get Batman. So that's just my theory. Yeah, Lenny is going full on Jack Torrance in the chat right now. We are loving this. This is the drama we needed, guys. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm just gonna bash them right the fuck in. Yeah. So that's my Jack Nicholson impression. I'm not great, but it works. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Authority too. Okay, so the Watcher, you're saying 2028 for the Authority and Swamp Thing. Um, I don't think the Joker will be the I don't think Joker will be the bad guy in Brave and the Bold. I don't think so. Um, although Lex, I agree, Jamie Alexander would play a great Wonder Woman. She's been on the docket for years. A lot of people have loved her and wanted her for the role. And also Lex liked the third guy. I think that's Josh Hartnett for Stephanie. Hunter Iggy, he is giving us something. So let's see what Hunter Iggy has to say. You've been kind of quiet, so I don't know. I think you've mentioned Brandon Sklenar before. I mean, he looks okay, and I think he's going to be in like a new movie or show soon or something. So yeah, but Glenn Powell too young, and I don't think he would fit as Batman. I think he would be a good Bruce Wayne. I don't think he would be a good Batman. No. So um, obviously we'll see, but uh, you know, yeah, Lex, I agree. Jamie Alexander would play a great Wonder Woman. Um, 27 yeah, I don't think Sklenar for Green Arrow. That could be interesting. He'll be skill I don't even know what's going on in the chat right now, guys. But uh but yeah, so it looks like this, they might be going for a middle-aged man to play the DCU Batman. So, I think that could be a lot of fun. I think that works with like from a logistic point of view, but I think Wonder Woman should finally be 6 feet tall. Maybe just get the hottest trans woman you can find. Honestly, I'd love to see a trans woman as Wonder Woman just for fucking people to lose their minds. Like I'd love to see it. Like just get like, honestly, yeah, I mean, not the first time there's the porn parodies. I mean, what? Um, but that I would love to just see the fucking nuclear fallout from everyone losing their collective fucking minds as a trans woman as Wonder Woman. I'd love to see it because I think deep down I'm an agent of chaos, so I would love to see it. But but yes, thank you guys for all of your wonderful comments. But they can make Dreamer in Amazon. That's yeah, that would be funny. Thank you, Lenny. Uh yeah. I think we would all love to see it. Yes, Lenny, you are especially, and we love that about you. That's why we always feature your comments, and that's why we always enjoy your, bouts with Dan. It's we all secretly agents of chaos. I'd like to believe so. I just have a nice face. I have a nice demeanor. um, um, that's are we getting like some more like brand new news up in here? Dan, what if you have to say about this? This is a scoop. What does Fiona have to say about this? This is interesting. I'm Dan. I'd love to see your comments on that. Yes, we know, Lenny. Gotta remind people that. Yes, don't worry. But I think the guy who played Michael in Prison Break could be a good. I don't know who played Michael in Prison Break, so yeah. So let me try to get this back on track in terms of you know in terms of all of this. So just like to thank everyone for watching. Lenny, Nelson, Manolo, Hugo, The Watcher, KC, Ray J, Dan for a little bit, Hunter Iggy, Grimes, who else? Yoj DC. You guys have all been wonderful. I wish I could, or Caleb Richardson earlier on. Um, I would love to put every single one of your comments into on screen and into this episode. We'd love all your comments. We and help. Even if you're not part of the live show, I know it's kind of late, kind of a weird time. Make sure to click the notification bell so you know when we go live. But we're gonna try and get back into fan comments soon enough. Dan was being lazy today, so he didn't want to make a fan comment banner. So blame him for that. But we're gonna try and do more fan comments. So even if you didn't catch us live, there is some incentive that maybe if you could leave a comment and then we'll show it on the show and reveal our thoughts about it. But guys, I'm so glad we had this time together. Just me and just you guys, and it's been wonderful. We got a little bit of drama towards the end. Thanks, Dan. We got a got a little bit of drama. We got some good insight onto various things today. Not a ton of like news wise, mainly just rumor mill, but sometimes rumors are, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to have a good rumor. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Make sure to like, hell, even dislike if you hated the video. Maybe you hated maybe you hate Aaron Pierre. Maybe you hate Kyle Chandler. Maybe you hate Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. Whatever it is, feel free to dislike. I dare you. Fucking dare you. Anyway, but like, comment, whether live show or non-live show, make sure to subscribe. And as I mentioned before, make sure to click the notification bell so you know when we go live. I know we're on at weird times, but we're trying our best to have like a more concrete schedule. But Dan will join us again tomorrow. I don't know who else, but me and Dan tomorrow, and then either I think it's Liz will be joining us. So again, thank you all for watching. I don't want this to end. That's why I'm stretching this out for as long as I can, but I will gladly end it now. Once again, thank you, good night, and good luck.